graceful 2-3 seconds.
Live. Yeah, live. So Purnimadi, will you start, please?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is Purnima Shakya once again with you, Team Head Professional Education Consultancy. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you're staying home and doing good. Numbers are growing like anything in Nepal. So please take care of your family and yourself. Guys, I'm very much excited to introduce our guest today. We have today Mr. Johnny Hunter, Director of Marketing and Admission, NIC, with none other than Country Manager, Mr. Anup Shrestha, with his charismatic personality. So also we have Isha Bhumi Shrestha, Business Development Manager, Professional Education Consultancy. So today we come up with a little different concept. Since Mr. Johnny is with us, whose expertise is marketing, so we are going to talk a little bit about marketing as well, like marketing strategy for new intakes or any new updates or ideas for the students' betterment. No doubt we are talking about NIC, it's a scholarship, it's entry requirements, online classes, everything. Don't worry about that. So to begin with, Newcastle International College, NIC, located at Newcastle, NSW, is famous for its programs, location, scholarship. However, what is the main key things of the NIC? My question is to Mr. Johnny. Why should students choose NIC for their future studies? So some more information from your side, Johnny?
Yep. So I'll maybe start sharing my screen to answer that question. So here we go. There's lots of reasons. Thank you for that introduction, by the way. So my name is Johnny Hunter, Director of Marketing and Admissions at Newcastle International College. So we are the on-campus international pathway college at the University of Newcastle, which is one of the top ranked universities in Australia. We're in the top 10. As you'll see in the slides coming up, we're also a very affordable option, possibly the most affordable student city in Australia. And looking at the screen at the moment, that is one of our 2 campuses in Newcastle. So we're located about 2 hours north of Sydney. So we're the 2nd largest city in New South Wales, but it's not part of Sydney. We are our own city, and that does give extra benefits like longer post-study work visas, an extra 1 to 2 years in comparison to if you had been in Sydney, Melbourne, or Brisbane. So students that study the Diploma of Business and Commerce with us, when they go into 2nd year at the University of Newcastle, they'll transfer into that very modern campus you can see in front of you. There's a tram stop now also, brand new tram network. So that stops right outside. As you can see, that goes down to Newcastle Beach in one direction, and then in the other direction to the Newcastle Interchange train station, which is the main line to Sydney. And there's also another campus on the way on that train, which I can tell you about later, which is the one with the 4 years of post-study work rights, which is the maximum you can get in Australia and twice as long as you would get in the UK. So that campus, by the way, is in what we call the Central Business District, or the city centre. So it's pretty close to all the action down there and very close to the beach too. That gives you an overview of the city on the right-hand side. As I said, we're the 2nd largest city, but significantly smaller than Sydney, but comparable to other cities around the world that have universities. So over 500,000 people call Newcastle home, about 540,000, which is actually comparable to cities like Edinburgh, capital of Scotland. Lots of cities in Europe, even Sacramento in California has less people than Newcastle. And even though we're much smaller than Sydney, we are the largest regional economy in the country. So bigger than ACT, bigger than Tasmania, bigger than Northern Territory. So worth a lot of money to the economy. That shows you some stats on the left-hand side. So 3 years of post-study work rights, that visa that you can apply for upon graduation at 2 different campuses, this one, and then the other one, which is actually the second largest university campus in Australia. There's a free bus though that goes between both campuses, so students or staff don't have to pay anything to get back and forth, and it goes all day, every half an hour. There's another one in the Central Coast, which is halfway between Newcastle and Sydney, about an hour north of Sydney. 4 years of post-study work rights available there. We are ranked 10th out of 40 universities in Australia and 207th in the world. Now, there's 26,000 universities in the world. So when you think about that and the fact that we're 207th, you start to get an understanding of the quality that we're talking about. We're within the top 1%, top 0.8% of universities in the world. Nursing, popular with Nepalese students, that's a 38th in the world for nursing. It's gone up. We also have a Hire Me Hour or a Hire Me project. So we actually help students when they first arrive to find part-time work. And remember, there's only one university in Newcastle. So there's actually less competition for part-time work. Minimum wage here is just under $20 an hour. You'll find most employers actually pay a bit more than that. And we're also in the process of coming to a new arrangement with a fruit picking organization, and it's $24 an hour. So we're looking to get some guaranteed work for our students too, which is another Newcastle exclusive. And for any students wanting to become doctors, we are one of the only colleges, university colleges in Australia with a dedicated medicine pathway. So most students aren't eligible for direct. International students aren't eligible for direct entry for medicine, but we have what's called a foundation for medicine, which I'll talk to you about when we get to the programs. So lots of key selling points. That's another shot of the city. On the right-hand side, you'll see the business school, which I showed you on the first slide, on that right arrow. And then literally across the road, they're building 7 more, including student accommodation. There's about 460 new bedrooms going in. Since this photo was taken, it's a construction zone now, so construction wasn't stopped in Australia because of the pandemic. It's still been going ahead. Completely changed since that was taken. Creative industries and education are also going to be moving in there with more faculties confirmed in the future. But you can see that new section is 1 block from the harbour. Not many university campuses in the world can claim that, never mind in Australia. And you can see it's very close to, that's Nobby's Beach up here. And then there's kilometres and kilometres of beaches. Newcastle Beach, Redhead Beach, Bar Beach, Merriweather Beach. The list just keeps going on. So we have some of the nicest beaches in the world. And as you would expect in any main city, lots of shopping malls, huge shopping malls that we have, cinema complexes, wildlife parks, zoos, international restaurants, nightclubs. And we're also very close to the Hunter Valley, a very good name for a valley, I think, where there's the oldest wine growing region in the world, in Australia. But even if you don't like wine, there's lots of other things that go on normally. Music being the main one, lots of music festivals, rock and pop concerts. So that shows you where we are on the map. So it's 180 kilometers north of Sydney with the Central Coast campus in the middle. And there you go, the 3 years post-study work rights, 4 years. And then we do have a Sydney campus. It's just for master's programs and some short courses, but just for postgraduate students in Sydney. and you only get the 2 years, remember, of post-study work rights there. There is an airport in Newcastle, 1 hour from Brisbane, 1 hour from Melbourne, so easy to get around. Once borders are reopened and we're back to normal, hopefully that is not too far away, there's 2 options. We'll pick you up for free from either Sydney Airport. If you've flown in direct into there, we can pick you up for free. Because of the traffic getting out of that airport, it does take a bit longer, like 2.5 to 3 hours. Option 2, which is what I would recommend and what I do when I travel, when I can travel, is fly into Newcastle Airport. So just fly into Brisbane and it's an hour, or fly into Melbourne or even Canberra and it's an hour. So from that airport, you get a private car. It takes about 20 minutes to where you need to get to. So probably a nicer way to arrive. So rail links. To get the train to Sydney is really easy and really cheap. So you can get the best of both worlds. You stay in Newcastle, you save a lot of money on housing rent. You get your extra post-study work visa. You go to a really highly ranked institution, but you can still go down to Sydney for $2.50 return, Australian. So almost nothing. It's a government-owned, subsidized rail network. So it takes 2.5 hours, but it's easy to do and it's cheap. Usually when I ask students how often they go, they say once or twice a month. So you want to go see the sites, the Opera House, the Harbour Bridge, whatever it is that you want to go see. Easy to do that. Sydney's really accessible, but remember it's 60% more expensive to live in Sydney than Newcastle. I used to live there, and I moved, and I haven't looked back. I've been here for 6 years now in Newcastle, 7 even. Climate. Ranked best climate of any city in Australia by the Property Council. So today I was just saying to the guys, it's about 22 degrees and it's winter. So it normally doesn't get too cold, and in the summer, it normally doesn't get too hot. There are some days that are very hot. Probably 3 or 4 days of the year will be 40 or maybe 41, but generally speaking, it doesn't get too hot. But this is the most obvious reason, affordability. So 60% cheaper than housing in Sydney, 22% cheaper than Melbourne. Even Brisbane is 6% more, and you can see other cities there as well. So if you think about the length of time that you'll be here, 4 years on average, including your pathway, that's about $40,000 cheaper here than Sydney. So that's a massive scholarship in itself. And speaking of the cheapness of accommodation, we recommend this company called Reese Realty. We don't get anything out of recommending them, but they've got a dedicated student accommodation manager, and their office is very close to campus, and they have accommodation from $100 Australian a week. So if you try to get that, it's your own room. Remember, if you tried to get that in Sydney or Melbourne, it would be 3 or 4 or 5 times that amount. It includes electricity and internet. So average costs probably $150 a week, but it does start at 100. So that's a really good option. And they're usually walking distance from the main campus too. So it's not like because it's outside of the campus, it's miles away. They're not, they're pretty close. Of course, we do have on-campus options too. It starts from $191 a week and goes up to about $330 for your own studio with a kitchen and living room. It's got 24-hour security. There's options with swimming pools in the complexes or food packages. It's very international, but it does sell out. Even though it's a bit more expensive, It completely sells out all the time. So if you do want to be on campus, apply early, possibly before you get your visa. If you don't end up getting your visa, unfortunately, you only lose $100. So to be on the safe side, probably a good idea to apply before you get your visa. You pick your first, second, and third preference out of the 9 different buildings, and then you're assigned an offer to accept a room. More rankings for you. We're quite STEM focused, so science, technology, education, engineering, and medicine. So civil engineering is in the top 150, medicine 101 to 150, architecture and education very highly ranked. There's also a subject within mechanical and mechatronics engineering called automation and control. That subject is actually ranked 8th in the world, which is higher than Harvard, Stanford, or Cambridge. So engineering faculty is very, very good in Newcastle. And I told you it was big. That is the Callahan campus with a blue boundary there. It's about 2 kilometers wide, sorry. And you can see it's very green inside the campus, whereas you can see it's very built up outside. So students usually say things like it's peaceful, it's tranquil. It's a good place to actually study and do well while you're at university. There's a free minibus that goes around all the time as well. So students don't have to worry about getting lost or when they first arrive or the time it'll take. You just hop on the bus and it goes around all the time. So most of the off-campus accommodation is just around the boundary, and this section on the right is actually now a brand new off-campus private student accommodation. Starts at 180 a week. It's just across the road though, so it might as well be on campus. It's another view of the new building. And then that's the Central Coast campus. So down here, there's things like public health, which is proving quite popular after COVID, I have to say. Food science and human nutrition, podiatry, oral health therapy. There's some nursing places here too. So if you want to do nursing, 4 years post-study work rights from this campus. There's some business places and there's some IT places. So it's a smaller campus, but it's only an hour from Sydney and it's only an hour from Newcastle, and you get 4 years post-study work rights. That's an artist's impression of the new Honeysuckle campus that's being constructed at the moment, which will include this building. First, creative industries. So anyone that's doing our Diploma of Media and Communication, when they go on to the Bachelor of Visual Communication Design, Bachelor of Communication, they will go to this brand new building. It's going to be open in the first half of 2021. And then back at the big campus, they're building a new STEM facility, and it's the biggest investment in the university's history. 200 million it's going to cost. So students doing engineering, in the next 4 years, they'll be finishing their degree there. It's due to open in 2023. Okay, so our programs. First of all, foundation program, it leads to pretty much everything. So there's over 100 different degree options. And there's 2 ways it works. You can go into first year of the degree after this, or we have some diplomas, which is exactly the same curriculum as first year, same exams, same quizzes, same teachers, same projects. It's just in another building and it's cheaper, like $5,000 to $8,000 cheaper. If you're going into first year, you have to get an average mark. There's 3 examples there, more on our website. And it's calculated over 8 subjects that you study. And then you go in as long as you get sufficient marks. If you're going into a diploma, you just need to get the pass mark from your foundation program, which is 50% minimum. And this can be done in 12 months or 8 months. So, and it doesn't cost anything different. They're both the same. Entry requirements are both the same for those two different options. It's just one will be 4 days a week, roughly, and the other one will be 3 days a week, roughly. Okay, medicine. We talked about this at the beginning. So we're the only Navitas-run college that has this in Australasia, and it's a dedicated program if you want to become a doctor. So you also need to get an average mark to get into the program of 90% or more. That's over 8 subjects. And if you're looking like you're likely to get that, and by the way, most students do, some of them get 98, 99, you'll be invited for a face-to-face interview with the faculty of, with the School of Medicine. They're trying to determine who would be the best doctors. And then there's also a multiple choice test, which is a personality test. Based on that, the faculty will decide who gets into the Bachelor of Medical Science and Doctor of Medicine degree, which is 5 years in duration. So all up, if students are successful, 5 years and 8 months study time. You'll get a 6-year or a 6 and a bit year visa. We had a 75% success rate the last 2 years this has been running. If you are listening and you're interested in this, we're actually doing a June intake for the first time ever at the end of this month, and you can start your classes online. So, and there's also over $4,000 scholarship available. I think it's 4,120 roughly, for starting this on June 22nd. If you're not picked by the faculty, then you can either get an offer from another university and you'll be allowed to go there, or you can pick your second preference: biomedical science, pharmacy. Some students even do engineering. We've got medical engineering, so another option. So there's lots of things that can happen. All is not lost if you don't get into medicine after this. So these are the diplomas, and after the diploma, remember, you go into second year. So you can do this in 8 months, go into second year, and you've only got 2 years left of your business or commerce degree. So you can actually get your degree quicker than an Australian can do. Either you go into Bachelor of Business or Bachelor of Commerce after this, and there's about 11 majors from business, international business, marketing, et cetera, and then in commerce, there's 3 majors. And this is at the new building, remember, so you transfer from one campus, you do for your diploma, and then you transfer for your year 2 and year 3 to the new campus. You use that free bus. Diploma of Media Communication is another option. This goes to second year of communication, but also now second year of Bachelor of Arts. And you can see some majors there, including politics and international relations, or creative industries, or visual communication design, so graphic design, or even music. So there's all up about 20 new degrees that you can go to from this diploma. And it's all, well, actually, no, it used to all be at the main campus, but you'll do your diploma and then your bachelor will be at the brand new buildings that are under construction as I speak. So that's pretty exciting. I told you we had medical engineering. So this is things like robotics, artificial limb design, 3D printing of bones and artificial organs. And you can major in biomechanics, medical devices, that's the most popular, or medical signal analysis. So if you want to future-proof your career, this is a good one. And we're actually in the group of 8, an associate member for engineering, which is the 10 best engineering faculties in Australia. IT, this is all at the main campus. You can major in interactive media, business technology, or systems development. And yeah, 8 or 12 months again. So a pretty good and pretty popular option. And then separate from medical engineering, these are all the majors that we have from our diploma into second year. So if you want to be a civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, mechatronics engineer, surveyor, computer systems engineer, electrical engineer, or brand new renewable energy engineer, again, future-proofing your career, then these are the majors that you can do in second year entry. We do have other options like environmental, structural, and chemical. You can still do that, but the subjects are very different. So you would do foundation to year one. There's a scholarship available, by the way, from this one, a progression one. So if you do really well, I'm trying to get it lowered down to 75% average mark. It's 90 at the moment, but hopefully we can get that lower. You get $5,000 off per year of the bachelor. So that's up to $20,000 if you do really well in the diploma. So 15 to 20,000. And then brand new program, if you've already got a 3-year bachelor degree, but no work experience, and you may have an IELTS of 6 or equivalent IELTS, you can actually go into what's called a pre-master's program. It's only about a 3-month program, just over 3 months. It's $13,000, but there's a 20% scholarship. So 10,400 it goes down to. You can start in August, January, or May. So it's got its own intakes, August, January, or May. And for the first time, we're offering this at the Sydney campus as well as the Newcastle campus. So 2 different options, depending if you want to be in the big city or the medium-sized city. And here are the options. There's a whole bunch of MBAs or combined degrees. There's business psychology, which is actually a science degree, psychology degree. And then we've also now got Master of Public Health. So lots of options. We're looking into the future to do engineering and IT too, but these are the options at the moment. And the first intake is going to be in August online. So even if you wanted to go into the Sydney campus or the Newcastle campus, it doesn't matter at the moment. All the online classes will start, and then once you get here, once the borders are open, you'll go to the chosen campus. And then next year at that Central Coast campus with the 4 years, public and community health. This is for students that might want to work in healthcare but not shift work. So things like organizations like UNICEF or the Red Cross. And the closest city, by the way, to that campus is called Gosford. You can see my cursor, Gosford. You can have a look. Okay, scholarships. So they're pretty generous at the moment. These are actually the most generous we've ever had. Between 15 and 20%, and it's between 2,600 and almost $4,500 for diplomas there. Medicine over 4,000 as well, and even foundation almost 3,500. So this will all come off your second installment, so you won't have much less to pay on the second installment than students did last year. For example, we didn't have this last year or the year before or the year before. So this is partly due to having the digital campus at the moment, but remember that's not forever. And certainly in Australia, in New South Wales, we have no new cases. It's essentially eradicated at the moment anyway. So borders, I think, will start to open in the latter half of this year. So from July onwards, and then by February, probably back to normal, or at least close to normal. So it's not for long. It might just be 6 months that you'll be able to study from home. You'll save a lot of money actually, because you won't be paying for accommodation or living costs. So all up, you probably will be saving more like 10 grand, but these are the fee reductions. scholarships available to all students starting in June, and fingers crossed we'll have the same for October, our intake in October. Those are the English requirements we have. So basically it's 6.0 IELTS, no band under 5.5 for everything apart from if you're doing foundation into something that's not health. So foundation into business, engineering, arts, science, that's all 5.5, nothing under 5. Everything else, if you're doing foundation to nursing, diplomas or pre-masters or medicine, it's 6. But we take Duolingo as well now because IELTS are still not open face-to-face. So you can do your online Duolingo, and it's 95 points basically, or 85 for foundation to non-health programs. You can see the full list of English requirements and also academic requirements at the website down the bottom here, nic.nsw.edu.au. If you are under 18, 16 or 17, there's homestay available, placed by the university. Those are the fees, up to 300 a week. And it's about a 20-minute maximum distance from the main campus. So no problem if you're under 18. No discrimination between a Newcastle International College student and a uni student. You get the same student number, the same discounts at the gym, the same student mentors, the student services. Is just exactly the same. There is a video, but because we're on Facebook Live, I don't think the bandwidth is going to be fantastic. But basically, it just shows you what this great city is like. But have a look on YouTube and just put in a region ready, Newcastle, and you can check it out when you have time at home. That's our team, so very multicultural, just like our students. We've got our college director, Sven, born in Hong Kong, but German. Danny is from Singapore, our academic director. I'm originally from Scotland. Karina, Italian background, but from Perth in Western Australia. Don't go there. Maureen, she's from France. She sends out most of the offers. Kai's from China. Tanya's from Newcastle. Soon's from Malaysia, Fawn from Thailand, and Nicole from Newcastle as well. And almost finished, guys. Those that's the Hire Me project that I was telling you about. So seems crazy now, but we actually had this face-to-face back in February. Face-to-face resume tips, interview preparation with HR staff we got from Sydney. And then the next week we have many face-to-face interviews with about 20 different employers, including supermarkets, recruitment consultancy firms, IT firms, etc. We won't be doing this face-to-face, obviously, in July, but we will be doing a virtual version. So all the new students will be invited to a virtual version of this. Doesn't guarantee that you get part-time work, but students have got part-time work or second interviews, and at least it's very good for networking and confidence building too. That's all our social networks. If you have access to any of them, please check us out and follow us. And I will open it up if anyone is there for some Q&A, and those are my email addresses as well.
You are mute, Purnimasi.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me I was muted there.
I'm saying thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much for your presentation. It was lovely, and it covers everything. So whatever questions in our mind, it covers everything actually. So talking about the NIC, we understand that we have discussed about online classes so many times. But when I ask about these things like online classes, virtual classes, remote classes, whatever we call it, about these things with the students, their answers is, somehow we managed or we are managing. So how convincing is this answer? I feel we are not forcing them to do so, aren't we? I feel that they are not, happy with that this facility. I mean, they are not serious. So, what do you like to suggest to that those type of students regarding the online classes?
We've been asking our students. Obviously, we weren't prepared particularly for this. Nobody was prepared for it, but everyone just had to deal with it. Some students, we have regular catch-ups with our students on Zoom to see how they're getting on and how they feel, both with their studies and just in general, and their emotions and their well-being, mental health. Some of them prefer it, and some are looking forward to getting back to face-to-face. But everyone, as you say, is dealing with it. But we're doing extra things. So what's happening for the students, even the students that are here, our next intake between June and the next one in October or end of September, those lessons will be still through Zoom and the campus. But for the students that are here already, they can have face-to-face meetings with their teaching staff on the campus. And even for the ones that are in Nepal or wherever, they can also arrange one-on-one Zoom lessons or catch-ups, or, if they're not sure about some math or whatever, they can actually just have a separate Zoom with their maths lecturer. So, it's not for everyone. And the whole point, of course, of studying in Australia is to study in Australia. And so we understand that. And that's why, even though some students prefer it, that's why we've got these scholarships that, as I say, are much more generous than normal. We haven't done scholarships very often because we are cheaper, more affordable. But it's nice to be able to have that for the students at this current time. But of course, we also have the October intake. We also have the big one next year as well in February. So things in February, I would think would be close to a normal year.
Yeah.
One other thing, actually, that students can try before they buy, or they can buy and they can refund if they, or a deferral, I should say, if they're not enjoying it. So if they do start in June and they think, okay, actually this isn't working for me, that's okay. They can defer to either October or to February.
Okay.
That's a plus.
So, yeah. Okay. Being
Before-
a market expert, what do you think of Australia market after lockdown, after border opens here in Nepal?
The Australian market after lockdown. So
Yeah.
here, we've been very fortunate because, especially in Newcastle, where there's less of a built-up population, so there's less people every kilometre. We haven't had many cases at all here, but we did still, of course, go into lockdown. So we were working from home just like you guys are for a long time. I'm at home at the moment, but tomorrow I'll be going in, so we're gradually going back. Obviously, we have a very good health system here, a very public system that is sourced from people's taxes, so they don't pay. And that has definitely helped. So things are looking pretty okay for Australia in general, as long as we don't all rush into going back to normal too quickly, like big concerts and things. They're still not happening. Lectures at the university will be a maximum of 80, and I think still spaced out 1.5 meters. So yeah, Australia's doing probably one of the best along with New Zealand, but We're just being cautious still.
Okay. Thank you, Johnny. So I would like to ask this question to Anup as well. What do you think of Australia market here in Nepal after lockdown?
Well, totally depends on how we're going to deal with our NOC. Obviously, we have a problem with NOC,
Right.
and most importantly, we need that because to pay the tuition fee. And I hope after the lockdown, and the Ministry of Education was very positive about offering, issuing NOC just after the lockdown. But unfortunately, we have never-ending lockdown in Nepal, so
Yeah.
we don't know when the situation will be normal as cases are growing day by day. But however, I mean, we got to be positive here. Obviously, as Johnny said, all our institutions are offering online programs, and having online programs and the discounts are there. I mean, scholarships are there. And normally, if you're talking about Newcastle, which is a top 10 Australian university and offering, business program in $20,000, which is, I think, very, very, I would not say cheap, I would say very affordable, right, for Nepalese students. And foundation, 19,000. And this is the only, I would not say only, we have other institutions as well, obviously. But for, even for pre-master program, we have scholarships. And pre-master 10,000 is very, very affordable again. And then even for foundation, we have scholarship. And that will be 19,000. So I would say if you are really, for those students who are very serious, I would say it's the right time to join the session, even though it's online. Or we will also issue them a visa support later, right, Johnny?
Yes.
To help them with their visa. So yeah, I think I would recommend to all our students to join for online for now, and soon the travel ban will be lifted. They will be on the campus.
Okay. So I think Isha have some questions regarding the marketing as well. So over to you, Isha.
So talking about the more of the marketing aspect, I think we did have a overall view on how this will go on, or what are the strategies that NIC has been taking place. Especially, I really agree to the social distancing part. Even things get normal, there are a few cautious approaches that we really need to take. So NIC has already thought about it, which means like students will be having a certain amount of distance, and the lecture classes will be small. That's pretty good. And until things get all normal, we still have to be on the track and still get to know all the informations about the college. I have few questions on the courses that you already described. And that is something new for us actually. So especially the medical courses, students from Nepal, I guess it's very rare that people have gone for a medical studies and they even know about it.
We have Nepalese students
Okay,
studying.
so I was not aware about it. But to go more on that part, so is the +2 or the high school in Nepal is equivalent for a diploma program for medical course in NIC?
So we only put forward a few different curriculums. So it's equivalent to an HSC, which is our year 12, which is about 70%. And we also say O levels or IGC, an average of A. So students, if they're going to an international school, would come from year 11. From the Nepalese system, and what's year 12 equivalent to?
For medical, we only recommend them for foundation because we are not taking them directly for diploma programs.
Yeah,
so
there's no diploma.
We do have, we have medical engineering. If they really want to go for medical engineering, we have diploma for Nepalese students. And our requirement is very low, guys. It's 2.2 for diploma, 55%, not 2.4.
Much beneficial for the students, right?
Yeah, 2.2 is very reasonable.
Yeah, very reasonable. So talking about the COVID-19 situation right now, NIC also have announced various programs. So is it for COVID-19 affected students only, or is it for all?
You mean for scholarship or for programs itself?
For the programs and the scholarship, everything.
It's for everyone. So everyone that's coming in June gets the scholarship, and the programs that we've got. I mean, the new ones, Diploma of Public Health. It seems like we have looked at the situation and gone for that, but that was actually years in the making. So yeah, all our programs are for all students. For the Chinese cohort, we did actually do some extra ones for the ones that were kind of stuck in the middle. But apart from that, all our programs are for everyone, and all the scholarships are. Doesn't matter where you're from, you get it.
Yeah. So I think the program, I like the program of, public health probably will be very famous among Nepalese students.
Mm-hmm.
And the good news is we can also recruit them for Sydney if they really don't want to go for Newcastle. And as Johnny said, we also have Orimba campus, which is offering 4 years of PSW. So if you have a student looking for student, obviously there are only few, courses, not all, but at least if someone really wants to go for Orimba campus, they will get 4 years of PSW.
Okay.
Yeah. So twice as long as Sydney.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Isha, can you please help me with the questions if you have any queries from the students?
We do not have any queries from students yet.
Okay. So I would like to request to our students. So come on, guys, please do not miss this opportunity to learn new things with Johnny and Anup. If you have any questions, please come and join us. So Johnny, I want to ask you one simple question, that what are your plans to promote Australia to NIC students?
So what we do is we do a lot of destination focused Google campaigns and social media campaigns, and we work also with agents like yourself for these online webinars and online Facebook sessions. But you'll probably start seeing our name pop up more online because we've got a whole bunch of campaigns coming. Normally what I would do is go and work with Anup here and arrange a whole bunch of face-to-face seminars and meetings around the country, but can't do that at the moment. I'm looking forward to getting back on a plane, I can tell you. I'm starting to have dreams about it. I don't know about you. But yeah, so a lot of our digital campaigns is what we are focusing on at the moment. You can do that with just about anything. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube videos you can do. We've got a video that we are filming on Wednesday, actually, of the college. So a tour of the college, a tour of some of the off-campus accommodation, some of the new ones that are just across the road, and a bit of an interview with the staff there so that they will explain, the pricing and how they actually take you from house to house until you're happy with one. So until I can get back to the airports, we're doing a lot more digital focused stuff.
Okay.
Guys, let me be a student here.
Okay.
All right. There are a few, obviously, we are dealing with the students directly, so they do have lots of questions related to, fee payments and all. And Johnny, let's say if a student wants to go for online learning, can they enroll for only 2 units at NIC? Because we have a problem with NOC, they can't pay the tuition fee, 50% tuition fee, which would be somewhere, even after getting the scholarship, they will be paying 10,000 plus.
Yeah, I had that question from someone else recently, and that is possible because what we did for the students how we've got medicine that started in April and then now medicine that started in June, those medicine students ended up only doing the 2, and then they'll end up taking on more when the other guys arrive next month. So we've realized that there's flexibility around that. it will be upon request, I think is probably the best way to answer it. It's not going to be a standardized thing. Normally we ask for 50%, which is 4, not 2. But in the current circumstances, as you say, with online classes, yeah, if that is requested, I would approve it. And on that note as well, remember, students can actually commence their classes before they get a visa at the moment.
Yeah, good. And you know, adding the point again, guys, if our students, if they don't like it, let's say they will get 3 to 4 weeks of trial classes, right, Johnny, before the census date, they can change the intake.
17th July, I think. So yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So 3 weeks time, they will have 3 weeks time to, you know, prepare themselves for online learning. If they don't find it easy, they don't find it, you know, very convincing, then they can defer to next intake. All right. So it's not mandatory. We're not just forcing our students to go for online. Mm-hmm. If they don't like it, they can go for next intake. So there is no, you know, pressure at all. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. So moving to on generic questions, most of the students normally ask me these questions. So, well, we all know that international students can work 20 hours in a week, right? And they have to work for their living or food at least. So what is the workload of a normal student in terms of hourly wages to maintain their living in Australia?
Okay, so it's, as you say, 20 hours a week, or what they say, 40 hours over 2 weeks. So that means you can do 10 1 week, 30 the next. But between semesters, when students have a break, it's unlimited. So students can work full time. There's one student that I can think of from Laos. So she works at a place called Source Origin, which is kind of like a takeaway for salads and healthy food. And she does afternoon for about 3 or 4 hours most days, maybe 5 days a week. So it's completely dependent on the student within the guidelines. But the good thing about Newcastle is being just one university with, you know, we've got about 4,000 international students. There's only that one university with international students, and there's TAFE, and that's it. So we don't have, like in Sydney, there's what, 6 unis, 7 unis, lots of international colleges, like hundreds of international colleges. We don't have any international colleges. We've just got TAFE and we've just got the uni, and we don't have a problem with our students to find work here, which is actually really important for Nepalese or anyone that's looking for to get some work on their resume. And remember, we have that part-time job spare. So students will work in the evening, they'll work in Saturdays and Sundays. And if they're doing a 3-day or a 4-day timetable, then they can just work around that. We also have guaranteed work internships for most of our bachelors once they get there. And so they'll meet with what's called an international student placement officer, and they'll look at their timetable and say, okay, on a Wednesday at 2:30, you can go for 2 hours at this place. And then there's also, on top of that, we do virtual internships. We're bringing it in through Navitas Professional, where students can also do some online learning and working with organizations as well. It's still an early stage of planning, but that's something we're going to be bringing into. So we take part-time work really seriously, actually. The college director and myself do quite a lot of work with the community on that. And just on Friday, we had a meeting with a wine company for students to pick grapes. $24 an hour, or if they don't go on an hourly rate, they get paid by the kilo with the possibility of earning $80 an hour or more, you know, if they're very good. So lots of, we yeah, we spend a lot of time making sure our students get work.
I would earn more money.
Yep.
So, okay, now we have one question from our viewer actually, and I guess she's from our team herself. So she has a question like, she has one student who is offering, she has an offer letter for July 2020, so upcoming intake, but now she wants to defer for 21 February. Will there be any gap issues or not?
That would just depend on when she finished her last year of schooling. Normally that we would hope to have no more than a year of a gap. So I'm not sure, I don't have that one in front of me, but I can take a look at it. Yeah. I mean, it might be that they're a bit more flexible because of the current situation. So maybe we could look at a slightly longer gap. Yeah, I mean, we're assessment level 1 now. For those of you that know what that means, the visa applications. So maybe we can be slightly more flexible than we had been in the past, but generally it's a year.
Well, I would suggest to her to go for July if just in case if it's fine with online mode, because we have a good scholarship, and obviously at Johnny side, gap there will be a consideration for gap, having this COVID-19 issues, but if they are 2018 student, probably we won't be taking them for coming intake. Right, Johnny?
Is actually 2019 student, passed out student.
I think 2019 should be fine.
Fine. Okay.
But if she is really interested for June, July, and she could go with the scholarship.
Right.
Yeah, because I cannot guarantee, it's too far away to know what the scholarship will be for February, and it's unlikely to be as generous as the current one.
So much. Yeah, she did get the answer for that. Yeah.
Okay. So, Johnny, add on the same question on my previous one. What percentage of graduating students find jobs in their career field within 6 months to 1 year?
I can tell you within 4 months, 92% of students find work. It's very even higher than that for the STEM, medicine and engineering. In some cases as high as 99. Business is 84%. So anyone that's doing business within 4 months of graduation, 84% of them find work. So yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because it's very high at the University of Newcastle.
Well, you can imagine, we can imagine because Newcastle is second largest city in New South Wales, and population which is below 600,000. There is less competition, so obviously the job possibility will be higher.
Will be high. Okay, so we are almost end of our session. So lastly, any messages that you would like to give to our students, Johnny and Anu?
Johnny, you go first.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting them when they finally get orders and into Newcastle. We're a very welcoming city. It's because it's a bit smaller, I guess people take a bit more time. It's kind of that town atmosphere, village atmosphere when you're greeted on the street. And now's a really good time to come because there's a lot of investment still going into the city, as I showed you in some of the slides. So you'll see the place being built in some sections, new buildings going up. Anyone coming in the next 12 months will be utilizing brand new, there'll be some of the first students into brand new buildings. So it's an exciting time. And I know that COVID means they're going to have to be patient, but let's just focus on the positives, as Anoop said, and no point delaying your graduation and getting into the workforce unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Well, my point will be different. Obviously, Johnny will talk about Newcastle, and my point will be related to entry requirements, guys. Because Newcastle, being a top 10 university in Australia, one of the prestigious one in NAVITA's list, even for foundation or diploma, the requirement is very low. entry requirement in terms of, even for the tuition fees, very reasonable. If you're looking for nursing, our entry requirement is still 6.5.5, as most of the university requires 7.7 for direct bachelor. I think if you have students, if you are looking for nursing, 6.5 is very low, and some of these students, if you are struggling, you can join Newcastle International College for your foundation program. Similarly, we also have this pre-master program in both in Newcastle as well as in Sydney with 6.5. Normally at Navitas, we have 6 age band or higher. So, but Newcastle being, one of the popular one, we have only 6.5 for, pre-master, and public health is MBA, or many other programs are available at NIC. Okay, so that's my short message. So if you have any further question, you can always, come back to us.
So, Isha, from your side?
Yes, this is a very good opportunity for students. Specifically, they have a very low entry requirement, and the tuition fees are very much affordable. And without, like Johnny said, like without delaying on your graduation program and going further for your job opportunities, I would say, and studying in Australia, you should not delay, but rather apply it immediately.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's it for today, guys. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Anu, for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time you've given me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Isha, as well. I will see you next time with our new guest. Till then, stay safe, stay home, take care.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much, guys. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Yeah, see you.